Welcome children to the video lectures of Social Science Standard 9. We are studying chapter number 16, Climate. This is the second video lecture of chapter number 16. In the last video lecture, we saw the definition of climate and we saw the definition of weather. We also saw what is the difference between both. Then we saw that in the subcontinent, that is India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Myanmar and the other Asiatic countries, we have the monsoonal climate. And the word monsoon is coming from the Arabic word mawsam. We saw about the seasonal change, that it is due to the axis tilt and the revolution of the earth around the sun. Now we are going to see about the variation in the climate of India. Today we are going to study about the variation in the climate of India. There are many variations in the climate of India. Variation is change. Southern India has a peninsular shape. Remember this, southern has a peninsula. Now peninsula you might be knowing. Peninsula means a land surrounded on three sides with water. So here Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal, and that's why this particular area is called the peninsula shape. Hence it is experiences moderate maritime climate, and that's why it is having a maritime climate. Maritime climate means such type of climate which is not too hot, not too cold. You might be seeing when you go on a beach or seashore, you won't experience too much cold even or hot. Even when you are sitting at the beach at 12 o'clock in the noon, you won't experience too much hotness. Why? Because the effect of the water nearby will reduce the heat, and that's why you will experience a pleasant climate, that is termed as maritime climate. While the climate becomes more continental when you go away from the sea. Okay, it becomes continental when you go away from the sea. As you go away from the sea means into the middle part of India, it will become more hot and more particular about it. A large part of North India is away from the sea, so it experiences continental climate. See, the northern part of India experiences continental climate. The Tropic of Cancer passes almost through middle of India. We know this. Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of India. Area to the south of it falls into the torrid zone. So that's why areas to the south of it will fall into the torrid zone. Okay. Let me just draw it. Just imagine now, just imagine this is our earth and this is the equator. Now the Tropic of Cancer passes somewhere here. Let me draw it something else. The Tropic of Capricorn is here. Now it is a latitude with 23.5 degree and same here. Now India lies here somewhere. Okay, it is not too good, but it is something like this. And Tropic of Cancer passes in the middle of it, and that's why you can see that the lower part of India experiences hot climate while upper part of India experiences a colder climate. Why it is so? Because the lower part is near to the equator, that is 0 degree. Okay, while the upper part is more towards the north pole, that is a colder region, and that's why the northern part will experiences cold while the southern part will experiences hot. Okay, I hope you understood it. Right. So in this way we can understand that what is the condition of it. Now let us go back. Areas in the south fall into torrid zone, okay, that is hot, simple words, hot, while areas in the north is in temperate zone, means not too hot, not too cold, okay, average you can say. As a result, there is a large difference in the temperature and rainfall in different parts. That's why there is a difference in temperature and rainfall. Example, the temperature in Leh Ladakh and Dras in North Kashmir is as low as minus 45 degree during winters, while in Sri Ganganagar and Alwar in Rajasthan it goes to 51 degrees Celsius high temperature during the summer. So you can see the difference, it is drastic, okay, it is a great change. Similarly, Cherrapunji in Meghalaya in east receives about 1200 centimeters of rainfall annually, that is highest among the world, which is maximum in the world, say, okay. Moselem, about 16 kilometers away from Cherrapunji, is famous for receiving maximum rainfall for 24 hours. In 24 hours it gets maximum rainfall in the world. In west, the deserts of Rajasthan receives only 10 to 12 centimeters of rainfall annually, that is very low. So now you can see the difference. Here there is a place in India which is receiving almost 1200 centimeters of rainfall, while there is a place in India which is getting just 10 to 12 centimeters of rainfall annually. Contradicting climate conditions are seen in our country when one region has devastating floods while the other faces drought. So this is there, one is in flood while other is facing drought. During the intense heat and scarcity of absence of rainfall, some region faces devastating event of thunderstorms, sandstorms and tropical times. So now you can see this. Then in the eastern part of India, there are typhoons, tornadoes, cyclones, you can name any of it, into October, usually into October or the monsoon season, end of the monsoon season, you can experience that every year there are this particular natural calamities striking there. Why it is so? It is due to the seasons and the wind. Thus, the seasonal weather has a devastating effect. And due to this, we can understand that the effect of season have a great impact on it. Now we are going to study about the factor affecting the climate. What are the factors due to which the climate will be affected? There are some factors on the surface of the earth which control the distribution and amount of elements. It controls the distribution and amount of element of the climate. They are called the climatic factor. Remember this can be asked with a short note. Following factors affect the climate of India. First is latitude. Now understand the difference between latitude and longitude. Longitude is standing lines. Standing lines are called longitude, while latitude are the sleeping lines. Okay, now you might be knowing that our earth or the globe is having longitude and latitude, right? So on which latitude, okay, this particular place is there, on which depends the climate. Climate type of a surface of the earth changes according to the latitude of the place. There is a distance of about 111 kilometers between two successive latitudes. Remember this, 111 kilometers between two successive latitudes. Sun rays fall vertically over equatorial region. We have already seen this in the previous portion, that it falls vertically on the equatorial region, hence it is very hot. India is divided into two zones of different climate, that is the torrid and the temperate zone. The southern side of India falls into the torrid zone, that is hot zone, while the northern side of India falls into temperate, that is the average zone. Next comes the distance from the sea. Now we have already seen that those areas which are near the sea faces a cool and a moderate or a maritime climate, but as you go away from the sea, you face a continental climate which is not too hot, okay, which is not too comfortable many a times. It is many a times too hot, many a times too cold, and so on. The distance from the land mass from sea, another factor of affecting the climate. Water and land have different capacity to converse and release the solar heat. As a result, coastal area experiences temperate climate while the climate becomes continental in the interior part. Remember this. Coastal regions experiences temperate climate, average climate, while the areas away from the sea experiences continental climate. Away from the sea, right? The climate in Mumbai in India is temperate as it is near the sea, while it is continental in Nagpur or Delhi as they are away from the sea. So you can see this. The area which are near the sea have a moderate or a temperate climate, while those areas which are away from the sea have a high temperature. Okay. Next comes altitude. Altitude means the height of the place, at what height the place is from the sea level. As we go higher in the atmosphere from the sea level, air pressure and air temperature decreases. See, as we go up, okay, air pressure and air temperature decreases, while higher relief gets more rain. Due to the high altitude, the Himalayan peaks remain snow covered throughout the region, as the Himalaya is having a great height, and that's why that particular area is covered with the snow around the year. Moist air cools down when it rises and gives rain. Okay, this we know from the rain cycle, that as the moist air goes up, it condenses, cool down, and it comes down in the form of the droplets. With increasing altitude of the mountains in Meghalaya, the rainfall increases. In general, air temperature decreases at 1 degree Celsius from the extent of 165 meters, or by 6.5 degrees Celsius for the extent of every 1000 meters from the surface of the earth. In simple words, as you come down, okay, suppose you are on the top of, say, Mount Everest, okay, it is about 8848 meters high. So as you come down 100 meters, every 100 or 165 meters, there will be a drop of temperature in 1 degree Celsius, and as you come down every 1000 meters, there will be drop of 6.5 degrees Celsius temperature. Okay, so this is the difference of the altitude, and due to the altitude, the temperature is also there. Next is atmospheric pressure and the winds. India falls in the part of the northeast wind, trade winds. Now what are trade winds? The trade winds are the permanent winds that they flow, okay, and they are also known as the easterliners. They are many times known as easterliners. Now let me just show this thing. Okay, now this is, just imagine our earth, okay, and just imagine this is the equator. Then the trade winds which are flowing here, okay, they are flowing from northeast, so they are flowing in such directions, okay, and they are permanent winds. They are flowing in such directions, while in the southern side of India, right, the southern side of India, they are flowing this directions. Okay, now India falls here, and that's why it is having the northeasterly winds. What kind of winds? Then northeasterly winds, this winds. Okay, so the trade winds are permanent winds, and that's why they are known as trade winds, because in olden times these winds were used by the sailors to move along the ocean for trade and other things, and that's why they are known as the trade winds. These winds originate due to the tropical high pressure belt in the northern hemisphere. This wind deflect due to the coronal force and blow towards the equator. Now you can understand that northern hemisphere is cold, equator is hot, and due to this difference in the temperature, they start moving into a curl type shape. In the past, why it is known? See, in the past these winds were utilized for oceanic trade, so these are called trade winds. As this wind blow over land mass, they contain less moisture as they are moving from the land mass. As they are coming from land, they are having less moisture. The Indian Ocean is located to the south of India. Arabian Sea in the west and Bay of Bengal in the east. We know this, right? Okay, south, Arabian Sea in the west and Bay of Bengal in the east. Due to the vast water mass, the wind passes over the absorbed moisture and brings rain. And due to this, as it moves over the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean and come to India, it brings lot of rain. During winter, high pressure develops over the north of Himalaya. See, over the north of Himalaya, there is high pressure created. Cold and dry winds from the region blow toward the Indian Ocean where the low pressure is created. Okay. During summer, low pressure develops due to high temperature over Central Asia and Indian landmass. At this time, high pressure prevails over Indian Ocean in south. So the winds tend to blow from the high pressure over to Indian Ocean to the low pressure of the northern India. These winds are known as south monsoonal winds. They contain moisture and bring rain into India. Now we'll see about the low pressure and high pressure in the next video lecture. Sometime a particular phenomena takes place located far from India, which is create temporary change. See, temporary change in long-term climate phenomena is known as jet stream. Now jet stream is basically the wind flowing at a high altitude, very high altitude. They are known as jet stream, or the western disturbance, that is the cyclonic disturbance due to it El Nino and ITCZ have effect of Indian climate weather to a great extent. However, the monsoonal characteristics of the climate of India remains unchanged, right? So we'll keep till here into this particular video lecture.